Why do they do this? They keep tearing them down no matter how great they were. No hole. They used to have the hole here where you could come up and buy your tickets. They replaced that glass. I mean, I could always smell sawdust in this place, but this is something else. Wow. Watch your step. Oh man. So if that's the outside door, then right here at mid-thigh is where the stage was once upon a time. Here's this little rickety thing here. Oh my God. Still got the glow tape on it. Wow. Toilet's gone. Sink's gone.
Odd place for a toilet.
Yeah. Now this building used to be, before I ever set foot in it, was a Firestone garage. Now you see how this road here is at an angle? Like everything else is in a rectangular grid. Watch your step right here. Well, this is new. They just cut right through those bricks to make a doorway there and there. That used to just be a boarded up window. So everything else is on a grid except this one right here, Hermitage. And because it's at an angle, that meant this building was triangular. It's wedge shaped. And when my old college professor, Robert Allen Holder, rest in peace, and some other folks were looking for a place to do a startup theater, they found this and discovered that it had these naturally converging acoustics, and it funneled the sound towards the stage. And so this was what they selected to be the Zodiac Theater all those years ago. Was just the triangular shape of it was perfect for it. And then the side stage was added years later. Box office through there. This is just intense, man. Intense to see it like this. I think these cinder blocks are new. I don't think that could have been there at the time. It might have been. It's so different. It's hard to wrap my head around. But this was the first stage that I ever saw a play at. My sister Amber brought me to see a play here. I guess I was 5 or 6 years old. And it was a production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And I can remember the actor playing Snoopy, and he's singing a song called Supper Time. Flash forward to 1989, I'm 19, I find out they're doing this local production of Little Shop of Horrors, so I auditioned for it. Turn of events, I wind up playing the voice of the plant, who sings a song called Supper Time. And one day I'm in the building early, and the director comes in and he's like, I've got to rehearse something that we're doing for this cabaret show. And he gets on the stage and he starts singing Supper Time from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And I'm like, oh my God, I saw you. You did that show here when I was 6, and I saw you as Snoopy in that show, and we're both singing songs. It was just the freakiest thing, you know. So 89, first play I ever acted in was in this space. 2000, first play I ever directed was in this space on Golden Pond. Your grandfather played my Norman Thayer Jr. So The Wickets, a ton of shows here. Of the 6 shows that I've directed, 5 were here. Little Shop of Horrors was the only one. It was at the Shoals. So 2000 on Golden Pond, 2002 12 Angry Jurors, 2004 Mr. Roberts, and then I think like 2005 was the production of Barefoot in the Park, and 2006 was the final one. After Barefoot, we did, because Barefoot was when I met Adam, and after Barefoot, I did The Odd Couple, the female version. So, and I always managed to somehow have a cast member from each show roll over to the next show that I did. So yeah, I did my Henry Fonda trilogy with On Golden Pond, 12 Angry, and Mr. Roberts. And then I parlayed Roberts into a production of Barefoot in the Park. So I did Barefoot in the Park in 2005 and said, well, I guess I've started on my Jane Fonda trilogy. So then Odd Couple was the next one. The Little Shop was the 6th one. So. And then we did a lot of Wicket shows here. This is probably one of my favorite venues that we did shows with the Wickets. And right after Dad passed away, I was here about a month later, and they were saying that the Zodiac was not going to be a theater anymore, and some folks managed to do a few more shows after that, but it was like a double gut punch. You know, it was like Dad was gone, and then the theater that everybody kept talking about on Golden Pond, the theater was going away, and here it is. It's gone. I mean, it's whatever it's going to be now. It's not that anymore. Why did they do this? We would also have the board meetings here. So like I remember the board meeting after Roberts, because I'd gone over budget and I hadn't made enough money with it, and I thought, oh man, they're gonna chew me out. I came to the board meeting preparing to defend the show. Keith Rhodes and Booker Young jumped to the defense of the show. They're like, yeah, he went $100 over budget. But you can see, because we'd painted everything Battleship gray, like you can see where the money went. He got the piano out of the loft. I had the cast of the show, like literally get the piano down, and out the back door. They're like, I would have paid somebody $100 to get the piano out of here, you know, so, and that was the first time that they ever said, what are you doing for us next season? Like every other show had been 2 years apart before that. And I'm like, they don't care about the money as long as there's artistic merit. I'm your golden boy. You want a show that loses money? I'll direct a bunch of those, you know. So after that, then I did shows each season. And somebody said, what are you doing next? I said, something small. I didn't want to do a big, lavish period piece again. So I did, I went kind of back to the basics. One set, 6 people, and did Barefoot. And somebody said, you and Neil Simon are a good match. You should do more Neil Simon. I said, well, if I'm going to do more Neil Simon and we're having 3 times as many women sign up for audition notifications as we are men, then I should do the female version of. And J.C. Hester, I think it was Sarah Biddle, said you should do more Neil Simon, and J.C. Hester said that's exactly what you should do. So then I did the production of The Odd Couple. Other thing about, I was in every show I directed. You weren't supposed to cast a family member. I did that. You weren't supposed to cast yourself. I always did that. But the one time I didn't cast myself, I was going to play this one guy that comes up the steps in Barefoot in the Park, and he pants and pants and pants, and he can't catch his breath. I was just going to do that as like a little directorial cameo, you know. And Keith Rhodes was going to build my set, and he goes, oh, I'll play that part. I'm like, okay, I'll let Keith play that part. So that was the one show that I did not act in at all, and it was my most successful show here at the Zodiac. I'm not sure if Little Shop beat it or not. So, oh man, wow.
Was Aladdin Jr. at the Shoals?
Aladdin Jr. was at the Shoals. Disney's Aladdin Jr. We did that there. I know. Watch your step coming down here. So this would have been a little office, and then there was a little hallway, and then they would make like the lemonade and stuff here. It seems so tiny without the walls. That's bizarre. It's like when the walls were in place, it seemed bigger than this. And then across here was, yeah, because the windows was where we had like prop storage and stuff. And lady in On Pond donated a phone generator so that we could hook up a phone on stage to a phone backstage and actually hear one another. I wish I'd kept that phone generator because I put it on a box I put it in a cardboard box labeled diapers and put it up on the shelf, and it was there for a while, and then one day it just disappeared. And I'm like, man, I wish I'd kept that phone generator. Who else would ever need something like that? Her husband had worked for the phone company and everything, so. Oh, me. Pictures on the walls. I don't know where those wound up. Who's got those? So. It's just so bizarre. I've been here in this spot slightly higher so many times with those lights in my eyes. Acting in shows. I remember us having the cast party for Tuna Christmas into like 2 o'clock in the morning, the door being open, we're singing karaoke. I was singing You Are the Christ from Jesus Christ Superstar, and I look across and I'm like, oh, that's a church over there. I probably should be singing that at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Yeah, but I would take a souvenir, but there's nothing. I mean, it's already gone. It's just memories now. I wonder if I could get those steps in the car.
This is Norman Thayer Jr. over on Golden Pond.